Yeah, man. Today's the 12th of March, 2024, and this is a public video. So there's a few things that I really just feel like are necessary to continue to put out there about the things that are happening to me. So one thing that I've been going through for the longest time is broadcast torture and gang stalkers using broadcast to physically attack me. And before I go into like some of the things they're doing, let me just kind of talk about the mindset behind it. Um, I really feel like it comes down to this thing where neural monitoring and gang stalking, where they're doing their live streams and they're trying to basically create content about destroying your life or whatever. So um, I feel like when it's not very successful on a psychological level, they start to become violent. And the more that you have success in not allowing them to destroy your life, then the more that they become physically violent, doing things to you with broadcast. Um, One of the things also that I believe is that they're not very likable people. And they're not very attractive, and they're probably like extremely overweight, nasty, don't take showers, sit at home on the computer, like in some nasty room, dusty and stinks and all of that type of stuff. And they just sit there because I know for a fact that they're sitting there on neural monitoring all day long, every day. And I can verify that because they're always on my neural monitoring and they're always available. 100% of the time, they're available to associate. They're available to beg for your attention. They need your attention and they hate you for being better than them in so many ways and all of that kind of stuff. And I truly believe that. And it makes them angry. And if you can, get attention, if you get attention from the opposite gender or sex or whatever, they hate that because they don't get that. And, people like you, or if you make some money, or if you have any kind of success, they hate that. And I feel like that fuels their punishment towards you. The things that they do to you, I feel like it's related to that a lot. And it's just diagnosing or coming to that conclusion from many, many years of experience with dealing with these people. And there's four main guys that are full-time on my neural monitoring that they're always available to associate. If I would give them the attention to associate with them or play into whatever it is that they have to say, and they're not that intelligent. And just because they have neural monitoring doesn't mean that they're some kind of wizard hacker. You could go up to any idiot and say, hey, let me show you how to get on this thing, and then show them, and that's it. You could set them up on your network and all of this. And I want to talk about networks a lot too in this video. And it's pretty important. And I'll probably do quite a few more videos about the computer stuff and networks. Is one of the classes that I'm in now. It's like a network fundamentals class, and I'm taking it actually as an elective. What do they call it? Like a program specific elective or something? Because I'm in programming, but network fundamentals but it's really making me think like this is the key. Like everything that they do revolves around this network stuff, and it seems to be the most important thing that I've learned so far. And I'm still learning it. I still have a while, but and it's hard, but there's a lot to learn. But it's the most enlightening as far as like every day when I'm reading and going through the chapters and the little labs and stuff like that. It's, oh, that's how they're doing that. That's how these gang stalkers are doing this other thing. Like it's always one of those moments with this particular class. And I have that moment with a lot of my classes related to computer stuff, but this networking one so far is the most enlightening one, I think, as far as like how gang stalkers do what they do. So let me talk about some of the things that they've been doing to me. And one of them I've been talking about for years and years, and it's this thing on my left knee where they put their broadcast on my left knee, and they were doing it last night, and I started to make posts about it, but I was so tired, and I worked very late, and then I got off and just went right to sleep, but it hurt so bad. Like it hurt so bad, you would think if they quit doing it, it would still take like weeks to heal up, you know, and I could still feel it now. And they don't have a broadcast on my knee now, but I can still feel it now. And I'm feeling it now, you know, and I'm moving it, and I can feel that there's damage there. And that comes from a consistent day in, day out attack. And the gang stalkers that I have, there's a few of them that have chosen an area. Okay, so I have one that always attacks my left knee, and he has been for years. And then one that's always putting his broadcast on my right foot on the side, like into the bone. And that hurts really bad. And you've heard me talk about that a lot on this channel. And when I talk about it a lot, they'll quit doing it for a little while, and then they'll do something different. And then they'll come back to that when it's not like the big subject on my channel with 10,000 people listening. As soon as I start talking about it, it might take, 4 or 5 days and, 3, 4, 5 videos. But then they'll say, okay, we got to do something else. Because now, and the problem is with their plan, I guess, to cause this damage is that it causes damage. And if you're somebody like me that's been talking about the damage that they're causing in very specific areas for years and years on a very public YouTube channel with many, many people listening, then it's like, okay, well, what happens when his leg breaks over sideways and they say, oh, whoa, it looks like, something's been eating away at your ligaments and your bones and your bone density loss and all this stuff, when it looks like all kind of cancer in there, and there is none, except for you can explain it with broadcast torture and a long history of documentation and a list of people that are involved or know who are involved. So that's the problem with the stupid thing that they're doing. Another one likes to put his broadcast all in my neck, and I feel like that contributes to bone density loss. I feel like it contributes to problems with your teeth. And I feel like it also can lead to more serious problems like some kind of stroke or something like that. I don't know. But it definitely seems like a horrible form of torture. And it becomes fairly regular, where if it's not completely disabling me, making me just lay there and want to cry, then I don't talk about it much, because it's become such a normal thing, like an every single day thing. And it's the guy with the grumbly voice that does that one on my channel. There's 4 guys, okay, and I could describe them very well, and I could describe what group they're from and what family some of them are from and stuff like that. And long term, you can link this person with this person with this person, with somehow linking to you, and then always been on your devices and all this stuff. Like, I feel like long term, I'll be able to put it together in a way that it's undeniable, in a way that such as even if it was difficult to become criminally charged, that I could make entire websites about them. Specifically, here's this person, boom, face on the page, and this person does neural monitoring and tortures people and is an attempted murderer and a long-term terrorist, and that's what they do. And they don't do anything else. And anybody who would investigate the circumstances surrounding that would say, yeah, that's concludable. So that long-term, they're not going to win. And the problem is that they use neural monitoring against people and gang stalking, and it destroys people. And they like to try to attack people that are in a vulnerable state, and then go in for the kill, basically, is what they're doing, and to just completely collapse your life and destroy your mind and everything. But they've been so unsuccessful in my situation, but they're so hard-headed that's like, and now it's almost like they're trapped in it. It's like they can't just walk away. What if I do end up getting neural monitoring? Or what if I talk to the wrong person? And all of this stuff leans towards, well, I guess we're going to have to stay and watch and make sure. It's like, when in the past, when I've had them, completely had them, found stuff that would change the game, found stuff that would bring down $100 billion companies, you know, or make a big, like when I found the application, one of the applications or some of the pages and stuff where they had like these custom made Facebook profiles based on like all of my assets, my groups and my pages, and like all these things were not just like posted or something. See, we're integrated in, you know, and when you have a company like Meta that allows these kind of things to happen, they know that gang stalking is happening on their platform, on their platforms. They know that it is. And, you know, I believe there's a lot of scandal behind Meta with that kind of stuff, and Google as well. They know that a lot of corrupt things are going on with their platforms and with people accessing other people's stuff and using people's services and denying people's services. And these companies know that, you know, and when you have stuff like that going on, especially in the case of like Meta, where Google too, but Meta, where they're like, both of them are like close to $1 trillion companies. Okay, that's 1,000 billion, and a billion is 1,000 million. So 1,000 million. I mean, they're getting close to that, to $1 trillion companies, if they're not already. I haven't looked at the market cap lately, but they're up there. They're up there, and I think when it comes to Meta, I think half of the accounts are fake, and I think they do a lot of scams against their advertisers with that kind of stuff. When I think that they allow their platform to be used for a completely secret side of the internet, gang stalking and broadcast technology that, and they have their own satellites. You know, they really do. They have their own satellites. There was a big thing about, you know, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg had like a falling out over the Facebook satellites when the rocket ship crashed on the way up or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but something like that. And they don't like each other. But that both companies have their own satellites. Of course, Elon's companies have satellites. But, you know, Meta has satellites. Google has satellites. So it's not just government satellites going on out there. So there's definitely room for private companies to be responsible for neural monitoring. Does the government know about it? Absolutely, they know about it. Not just the United States government, but all these governments know about it. Man, they've been doing this thing that's like it's like somebody took a bee sting and turned it 1,000 degrees and just jabbed it into you somewhere. And they've been doing that. And it hurts so bad that it brings tears to your eyes. Not like you're a crybaby or like you're crying. Oh, no, it's not like that. It's just, it hurts so bad. It's like, oh, you know, and it makes your tears come to your eyes because it hurts that bad. And they did that to me last night, about 5 or 6 times, man. And, you know, on my legs and places like where my clothes are, and I'm like in a public place, a workplace. And so it's not like I could just be like, ah, you know, start ripping my clothes off or something. But they did that to me. And there's one boy, okay, and he's grown, but I don't know if he's the son or the little brother of one of the other guys, but he's one of the 4 guys on my channel, and he is so immature. But they all are, even though some of them are 40s and 50s years old. They're all very immature and very unintelligent acting. But the one just acts like just a baby little child, really does. And they probably brought him up in this, you know, and that their mentality is his mentality. And yet they're all, I'm not going to continue going on about them, but they're doing a lot of things to hurt me really bad. That's the bottom line. But the last thing I'll talk about is this network stuff. So I'm doing a class, and it's like 1401 network fundamentals or something like that. And it's, for me, it's a program specific elective. So it's about computer stuff, but it's still an elective. It's one of the ones I could choose this or that or this or that. And so I chose that one because I thought it would be important. It's like I thought web development and, SQL and mobile app development. I think all those things are important. And so I've been taking all of those kind of classes along with my basic computer classes and all my regular general education classes. And I've got a lot of actual coding classes coming up with like PHP and C++ and Java and a lot of stuff like that. And I've been working with like React and but this network class is very, very important. And it's a lot to do with like IP addresses, IPv4, IPv6, and all of the different things that come and go along with that, and just how networks work in general, with like switches and routers and patch bays and all of this. Like if you take this class, you take it very seriously, you'd have a chance at, going into a building and wiring up a whole business network. You might kind of know how to do that after you take this one little class. And so I think it's a very important class, and it's definitely got my mind saying, hey, this is something that I need to be looking more into, because this is a very important aspect of how it all works. And, when they're taking over your device or infiltrating your device or anything like that, it's all about the network stuff. Okay. And how they have their network set up. They might have neural monitoring on, one hard line coming to one computer that they're using as a server. And then they have a network on a specific subnet or something, and all of them can get onto that. And that's how they get onto neural monitoring. It's like this one girl that I knew all the way back in like, before then, but this is when I saw this happening, like in 2012, 2013. And she would go on, I'm pretty sure it was the browser top bar, and type in like this whole thing. It was like static PHP dot something slash something net, and I had no idea. And what she was doing was connecting through somebody else's network, and probably most likely configuring the IP and the subnet to be on somebody's private network. Okay. And there's another time where these gang stalkers, they had my iPad on their private network, and it was linked into their network, and they had a complete control over it. But if I did a search on Google or something, it would come up with all kinds of stuff that normally wouldn't come up. And you have to have all your configurations like correct like that to be able to access the real internet, the everything internet, not just the public, what's out there for standard stock internet. There's a lot more stuff out there when it comes to like private internet, and everybody's got, hosting this and that and all this stuff that's out there, that gang stalking stuff, and these meta platform apps that they're making that are based on our profiles with our assets that Meta forgot to let us know that they're using. They're hosting all that stuff on private networks, and, they can turn it off in just a second or block you out from it if you ever find something, because it's very typical for them to have you and your phones or your devices linked into their network. And then they just have complete control over your stuff, and you think nothing, and when they want to shut down your service, they do. And when they want to know everything you're doing, they already know, but they know, right on the screen without having to, use broadcast technology. But they do all of that. So the network thing is very important. I would even recommend like a network engineer or something like that. If you could go to school to become like a network engineer, I think that would be extremely valuable. Okay. Cause it's a little complicated, but it's like anything else. When you get it, you'll get it, and like when it comes to derivatives in the financial markets and stuff, when you first try to think about those kind of things and like, doing different spreads or like option contracts and, those kind of things where, you know, you're rolling over contracts and doing, it's very confusing and it's very difficult to comprehend. But over time, you get it more and more and more. And then you look back and you're like, you forget how difficult that was for you to learn because you understand it. And this network stuff is the same way. You know, when it comes to all of the different things to do with like IP addresses and all the different services that run in certain orders and different things. But over time, it starts to click. And it's important to stick with things like that. So it's definitely on my radar, okay? I have maybe a year left to have my programming degree, and then I'll probably go ahead and dual major. I'm actually already signed up to start dual majoring, but I probably won't start with that for the summer. But in the fall, I'll probably start with the dual major and go ahead and do some of the classes for my programming and then some of the classes for the cybersecurity that I'm also doing next. So I want to start mixing them up. And so I'll be doing that. And then maybe sometime in 26, I'll get done with that. And the big thing with that was that a lot of the classes and the general classes for like math, English type stuff and electives and that kind of stuff. And then also even some of the computer classes are the same within those different computer science degrees. So I get the cybersecurity for way less classes. So I want to go ahead and do that and take like, you know, maybe a couple years to do that instead of three or something like that. It'll take like a year and a little bit maybe. But then I'm very interested after that in looking into this like network engineering because it is interesting to me, but they all go together. It's very important to know that kind of stuff, but I feel like it gives you an extreme edge on people. And it also puts you in a very different type of situation with gang stalkers. And it puts them in a very difficult situation if they've been doing a lot of stuff to you and you start to understand all of those kind of things. Because not only can you figure out what they've been doing to you, but you could also tell everybody else and kind of mess up the whole operation of gang stalking. And to have somebody that's been just brutalized as a victim with this kind of stuff and tortured and life destroyed and scammed and set up and thrown to the wolves and all this different stuff over so long, you know, it's very difficult to say, okay, you know, you got it. You figured it out. All right, here, you know, don't tell everybody. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, right. That's kind of the situation that they're in. And I won't stop. So you guys should know by now, I ain't stopping. I ain't going nowhere. But just be on the lookout, especially on the membership side. I promised that I was going to be doing more for the members, and that side is growing. It's only like $1 a month. I'm not really trying to promote membership stuff. I just don't really like to have thousands and thousands of videos on public. And, you know, if people want to follow me closer, there's thousands and thousands of videos that are not on public. And it's probably maybe 300 or 400 on public, but I always go through and kind of clean that out to keep that number at a reasonable level where it's, you know, 300, 400. I feel like that's a lot to be public anyway. And the rest of them go to the membership side. And there's not very many people. It's only $1 and there's not very many people. But I feel like that I should look out for them more. So anyway, moving forward, there will be a lot more membership videos. And there's going to be a lot of good stuff. You know, it's not going to be the same as it was. I mean, I've always put out informative information. Okay, but moving forward, the information that I'm going to be putting out is going to be not just informative, but certified, you know, certified informative stuff. So it's going to help us a lot when it comes to like what gang stalkers are doing to us, and here's exactly how. Let me show you. You know, that's what I aim for on this channel. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. That's it for now. I'll see you on the next one.